Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our updates.
The world stood at a precipice after World War II. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers. However, their ideologies clashed. The US championed capitalism and democracy. The Soviet Union promoted communism and a centrally controlled economy. This ideological divide ignited the Cold War. The Cold War was not a conventional war with battlefields and front lines. Instead, it was a period of intense rivalry, suspicion, and military build-ups. At the heart of this rivalry was the nuclear arms race. Both superpowers, driven by fear and mistrust, raced to build more powerful and destructive nuclear weapons. The US had demonstrated its nuclear might with the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. This ushered in the atomic age, an era marked by both technological advancement and existential dread. The Soviet Union, determined not to be left behind, tested its first atomic bomb in 1949. The arms race escalated quickly. Each new nuclear test, each technological advancement, heightened global anxiety. The world lived under the shadow of nuclear annihilation. The creation of the Zar Bomber, the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated, epitomized the terrifying heights of this arms race. In the late 1950s, the Soviet Union embarked on a mission to create the most powerful weapon the world had ever seen. This was a time of intense rivalry and competition between the world's superpowers, and the stakes could not have been higher. This weapon was the AN-602, later dubbed the Zar Bomber, meaning Emperor Bomb. It was intended to be a demonstration of the Soviet Union's technological and military prowess. The project was a testament to the technological prowess of Soviet scientists and the unwavering commitment of the Soviet leadership to assert its dominance in the Cold War. The creation of such a weapon required not only advanced scientific knowledge, but also immense resources and coordination. The task of designing and building the Zar Bomber fell upon a team of leading Soviet physicists. These were some of the brightest minds of their generation, tasked with an almost unimaginable challenge. They worked tirelessly in a top-secret facility driven by a sense of patriotism, scientific curiosity, and the immense pressure of the Cold War rivalry. The environment was one of intense secrecy and urgency, with every detail meticulously planned and executed. The project was shrouded in secrecy. The scientists and engineers involved were sworn to silence, and the facility itself was heavily guarded and isolated from the outside world. Only a select few within the Soviet hierarchy were privy to the true scale and destructive potential of the weapon being developed. This inner circle included top government officials and military leaders who understood the strategic importance of the Zar Bomber. The Zar Bomber was a three-stage thermonuclear weapon. Its design was far more sophisticated than any previous nuclear weapon, incorporating multiple stages to achieve its unprecedented explosive power. It was far more complex and powerful than the fission bombs that had been detonated before. The sheer scale of its destructive capability was almost beyond comprehension, making it a true game-changer in the realm of nuclear weapons. The development of this weapon was a remarkable feat of engineering and physics. It required not only theoretical knowledge, but also practical ingenuity to bring the design to life. It showcased the Soviet Union's ability to compete at the highest levels of nuclear technology. The successful creation of the Zar Bomber was a clear signal to the world that the Soviet Union was a force to be reckoned with. The Zar Bomber was more than just a weapon. It was a statement. It was a bold declaration of Soviet strength and technological capability, intended to send a clear message to both allies and adversaries. It was a symbol of Soviet might, designed to instill fear in the hearts of the US and its allies. The demonstration of such a powerful weapon was meant to serve as a deterrent, showcasing the devastating consequences of any potential conflict. It represented the Soviet Union's determination to match and surpass the US in the nuclear arms race, regardless of the cost. The creation of the Zar Bomber was a pivotal moment in the Cold War, highlighting the lengths to which nations would go to secure their place on the global stage. Andrei Sakarov, a brilliant Soviet physicist, played a pivotal role in the development of the Zar Bomber. Born in 1921, Sakarov's early life was marked by a keen interest in science and a deep-seated desire to contribute to his nation's technological advancements. He is often referred to as the father of the Soviet hydrogen bomb, a title that underscores his significant contributions to the field of nuclear physics. His contributions were essential to the Soviet Union's success in creating such a powerful weapon. Sakarov's work was not just about scientific discovery, it was also about national pride and the fierce competition of the Cold War era. Sakarov was a complex and contradictory figure. On one hand, he was a dedicated scientist, deeply committed to his research and the advancement of Soviet technology. He was a dedicated communist who believed in the Soviet Union's cause. His early work was driven by a sense of duty to his country and a belief in the ideals of communism. He was also a man of deep moral conviction who later became a vocal critic of the arms race and an advocate for peace and human rights. This transformation was not immediate, but evolved over time as he grappled with the implications of his work. Initially, Sakarov was swept up in the patriotic fervor of the Cold War. The intense rivalry between the Soviet Union and the United States fueled his determination to contribute to his nation's defense capabilities. He saw his work on the Zar Bomber as a service to his country. The project was a monumental task, requiring immense dedication and scientific ingenuity. He believed that by creating a weapon of such immense power, he was ensuring the Soviet Union's security and deterring the US from attacking. The sheer scale of the Zar Bomber was intended to send a clear message to the world about Soviet strength. However, as the project progressed, Sakarov began to have doubts. The moral and ethical implications of his work weighed heavily on him. He realized the full extent of the destruction that the Zar Bomber could unleash upon the world. The potential for catastrophic loss of life and environmental devastation became increasingly clear.